A wild final round at TPC Twin Cities in Blaine, Minnesota at the 3M Open. Scott Piercy looking to go wire to wire, entering with a 4-shot lead, made a ton of changes entering the tournament. New coach, new caddy, new driver, new putter, but the putter let him down. Here on 8 for par, bogey. Falls to 19 under. Also changed his shoes. He had a blister on Saturday, and those weren't working for him, so he changes his shoes. And, well, the results weren't good. On 9, second shot, into the rough, he'd bogey. That hole drops to 18 under, back-to-back bogeys for the first time this tournament. Tony Finau enters 5 strokes back. He was the pre-tournament favorite, and he was strong. Birdie on 11, got it, moves to 15 under. Now on 14. Putting with precision, moves to 16 under. Closing in on Piercy. And Piercy in some trouble on 14, his second shot here from the sand, and that doesn't go anywhere. It goes a couple feet. Next shot, so he's still trying to get out of the sand, and he goes from the sand to the water. Triple bogeys, 14. Drops to 14 under. 5th bogey or worse in the last 7 holes. Consider he had 3 bogeys in his first 54 holes. Shot a 5 over 76, a complete meltdown for Scott Piercy in the final round. So Finau has got the lead on 15 for birdie from 31 feet out. Tony Finau putting with precision. Moves to 17 under. Back-to-back birdies. 16 for birdie. His family staying on the property there at TPC Twin Cities doing some fishing for more birdies. Moves to 18 under. He's loving it in the land of 10,000 lakes. But he almost goes into a lake here on 17. 4-stroke lead. 197 yards out, into the left rough, and it barely stays out of the water. It hit the grandstands. How about a lucky bounce there to stay out of the water? And then look at this shot. Chipping it. Nearly holes it. Inches from greatness, but he was great. Kisses the ball. Gets himself a par there. Saves par. Remains at 18 under. Walking through the crowd to 18. And here it is to seal the deal. At the 3M Open, Tony Finau with a historic round. A bogey on 18, just his 3rd bogey in 72 holes, but it was enough. 17 under par, wins the 3M Open, sets the tournament record for largest final round comeback as he rallies from a 5-shot deficit, ended up winning by 3 strokes to earn his 3rd career PGA Tour victory, his first since last season when he won the Northern Trust, the first tournament of the FedEx Cup playoffs, as we close in on this year's FedEx Cup playoffs. And how about Tony Finau coming back from 5 shots back? He wins $1.3 million. For Scott Piercy, just a complete meltdown. Shot a 5 over 76, finished T4 after leading for most of the tournament. And Tony Finau wins it in Blaine, Minnesota with a historic final round, speaking with our Amanda Renner.
We are here with our winner, Tony Finau. You began the day 5 off the lead, and you took total control, putting together a putting performance like we've really never seen from you on a Sunday. What did it take to get it done?
Really everything I had. I was playing great, and every time I looked up, it seemed like I was 4 or 5 shots back really all day, and then I really got things going in the middle of our back 9, and once I took control of the golf tournament, it was a whole different mindset, try and seal the deal. A couple squirrely swings coming in, but, I called bank on 17 and it worked out.
Yes, you did, and it did. You were in green today, as you always do, to honor your mother. This is the first win where everyone in your family is here in attendance. You put your kids' initials on the ball. What does this one mean?
Yeah, you're going to get me all choked up here. I love my family. I love my mom. I miss her. And it's so special just to have my family here with me and to celebrate this win with them. They mean everything to me. My wife's been a huge support to me, my family back home. There's been a lot of people that have got me to this point, and I'd be selfish not to thank so many people, but my parents and my wife are people that have supported me from day one, and this one's for them.
Tony Finau, you have earned this victory. Go celebrate with your family. Congratulations.
Thanks, Rhonda.
This final round recap of the 3M Open is presented by Bonobos. Look good, play good, repeat. We welcome in Sportsline data scientist and host of the First Cut podcast, Rick Gehman. Scott Piercy crumbles. Tony Finau rallies from 5 shots down. What's your reaction to a wild final round at TPC Twin Cities?
Wild, to put it lightly there, Hakeem, for sure. I mean, TPC Twin Cities, this is only the 4th year that we've held the 3M Open, and we've played it at TPC Twin Cities in every single one, and it has generated some of the most amazing finishes. You go back to remember, Matthew Wolff dropping an eagle on the final hole to beat out Bryson DeChambeau for his first victory. Things got a little bit wild for Cameron Champ trying to hold on for victory last year. He was able to do that, and then it, of course, provided the fireworks here this week, where seemingly the entire leaderboard, Scott Piercy certainly included in that, melted down on Sunday. And it was Tony Finau, the guy that has been most known for maybe not melting down, Hakeem, but not getting the job done on Sundays. He's the one who ends up hoisting the trophy, adding a 3rd win to his resume. It was just a bizarre sequence of events. It was a 2-hour window where the leaderboard flipped on its head, then flipped again, and maybe flipped a 3rd time. It was just fascinating stuff, and we've learned that in just 4 years, TPC Twin Cities rarely disappoints. Time
now for the Bonobos' perfect fit, and Tony's fit was perfect on Sunday. In fact, his Sunday scoring average is under 68, good for 3rd on tour. However, we've talked about this. He's mediocre in the first 2 rounds, which is one reason why he doesn't have more wins. But Finau on Sunday, looking at a 3rd runner-up finish this season, instead earns his 3rd career win at the 3M Open. That sentence brought to you by the number 3, Rick. Rick, what does this win mean for Tony Finau?
Yeah, it means a lot. Tony Finau's career has been awesome, but the one thing that he generally lacks is victories. Remember, it took him, he broke through at the Puerto Rico Open years ago, and then it took him nearly 2,000 days, 5.5 years before he won again, and there were just countless top 10 finishes over the course of that stretch. And what I find so fascinating is that even when Tony Finau was piling up those top 10s, and even when guys like myself were critical of Tony Finau for not winning enough, he would still play fine on Sundays. He would never really cough it up. Either someone would run out and take it from him, or maybe he'd get a little bit unlucky, but it was Finau who got lucky here on Sunday. This shot we're watching here on 17, the par 3, literally 15 yards longer than he wants to hit it, rattles it off the grandstand. It's firing back towards the water at 100 miles an hour, and it just drops the e-brake before going into the pond. I mean, that is a very lucky break that Tony Finau probably has not gotten enough of over the last half decade, and it was good to kind of see one fall in his favor, and that was plenty as he'd go on to win by 3 shots.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and certainly on that shot on 17, he was lucky and luck was with him. And how about this season, really, right? It's been comeback season, right? We saw Justin Thomas come back from 7 shots down at the PGA Championship. Then the following week we saw Sam Burns come back from 7 shots back at the Charles Schwab, and now we see Tony Finau come back from 5 shots back. It's comeback season.
Winning is hard. I mean, we say it all the time. The guy at the top of the leaderboard is feeling a lot of things, and your body doesn't feel the way that it normally feels because you've got adrenaline pumping and you've got nerves knowing that you can change the trajectory of your career. And then I think it's also a testament, Hakeem, to how deep the PGA Tour is, because if you falter at all at the top of the leaderboard, there are a pack of wolves 5, 6, 7 deep that are going to try to chase you down. And obviously, a lot of guys have the firepower to do that. It's not just Justin Thomas. It's not just Sam Burns. There's just a lot of guys who can go out and rattle off 6 birdies over the course of 9 holes and really put a lot of pressure on you. So yeah, it seems more than ever here this year, we've had some of these massive comebacks, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon with the depth and the scoring prowess that we have on our tour.
Yeah, I love the comebacks because it makes for Sunday drama. Unfortunately for the guy that gets tracked down, there's really no way else to put it, sucks. I mean, you're Scott Piercy, this just sucks. He did not have the perfect fit. This after making a bevy of changes ahead of the 3M Open, new coach, new caddy, new driver, new putter. Saturday, got a blister on his right foot, wore new shoes on Sunday, but unfortunately now he can only kick himself. 6 bogeys, a triple bogey on 14. Rick, what the heck happened to Scott Piercy on 14?
It was all going so well. Yeah, I mean, 63 basically flawless holes. He gets the 14 and hits it in that fairway bunker there. He draws a pretty ugly lie, so he's only able to advance it further in the bunker, and that's okay. Remember, he had gotten to 20 under par at one point in this round. Tony Finau would end up winning it at 17, so it's okay to spend one or two, but then he made the critical error of yanking his second bunker shot left into the water, and you're watching it right now, and where this crosses over the water, I mean, he's basically only picking up another 40 or 50 yards. He can't even make up that much ground with where that entered the hazard. So now he's got to go back and hit a shot that he almost spins back into the water again. I mean, this was just the wheels falling off for Scott Piercy. One unlucky break, one really bad swing. By the time he counted up all his strokes, it was a triple bogey 7. It was already in the midst of a stretch of golf that wasn't going particularly well for him. And that's when Tony Finau took the lead, and Hakeem, he certainly never looked back.
This cost him a win, which would have been his 5th of his PGA Tour victory for the wily veteran. It also cost him a lot of money. $1 million was the difference between first place and his T4 finish. How do you come back from this if you're Scott Piercy? Look, I know he's been on tour for a long time, but this is one that will sting for the rest of his career.
For sure. And the thing with some of these wily veterans, the guys that don't get in the mix that often, is that when they do and it doesn't go their way, that lingers. That is something that he's going to have to think about a lot, because he's unlikely to put himself in this sort of contention. As good as it was, what's it going to be? Another couple of years? Who knows for Scott Piercy? The other thing, Hakeem, he was licking his chops to make potentially a deep run in the FedEx Cup playoffs. He was already counting those 500 FedEx Cup points, not going to get those. T4 is only going to move him to about 112th in the FedEx Cup standing, so he's just inside the playoff bubble. But this is really not only the $1 million between the difference between first and T4, a bunch of points that he lost, which is going to leave a lot of money on the table for a playoff run, but probably a lot of sleepless nights moving forward about what could have been and what probably should have been at the 3M Open. Yeah,
I feel bad for Scott Piercy, who made all these changes, worked so hard to get his game right, and then he just crumbles, melts in the final round. He'll look to bounce back. It's going to be tough, though. He'll look to bounce back next week. He and Tony Finau in the field at the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit. As you mentioned, Piercy's T4 finish gets him inside the top 125 in the FedEx Cup standings. 2 weeks left in the regular season before the playoffs. It is crunch time for guys on the outside looking in, but we look at this field, and it's pretty strong. Finau among 6 of the top 30 in the world rankings who are in the field next week. Patrick Cantlay, Will Zalatoris, Cameron Young, Max Homa, Kevin Kisner. Rick, what will you be watching for next week in Detroit at the Rocket Mortgage Classic?
Yeah, there's two things. One, our defending champion, Cam Davis, is playing well. So he's going to get to go back to Detroit Golf Club off of a T16 here at the 3M Open. That's 3 straight top 20s for him. And obviously a lot of good vibes there in Detroit. And he's one of these guys that can lead into my second watching point for this upcoming week is there's only 2 events left. There's a lot of jockeying for position that's going to be done across the entirety of the FedEx Cup standings. Of course, the guys who are going in and playing fine, they're going to try to rack up as many points as they can for the staggered start when we eventually get to Eastlake. But everybody else outside the top 30, there is a lot of points available in the next couple of weeks. There's an opportunity to change the trajectory of your season, of your career. There's just a lot more on the line at this point of the season, and all of these guys know it, Hakeem. So it'll be pressure-packed for all 4 days in Detroit.
All right, you're watching Cam Davis. We'll certainly be watching Tony Finau. And you also explained something in terms of the context for Tony Finau on Twitter. Take me through that in terms of his wins.
Yeah, so Tony Finau wins the Puerto Rico Open. It's almost 1,975 days between win number 1 and win number 2. Much shorter time frame, just under a year from win number 2 to win number 3 here this week at the 3M Open. So, Hakeem, we do a little math. We say, okay, he'll stay on this pace. He'll win again in 56 days, which I checked my calendar. That's September 18th. That is the final round of the Fortinet Championship. So we already know where Tony Finau's 4th victory will be coming.
So that'll be your one and done then for that week on the First Cut podcast.
Yeah, lock it up.
Yeah.
No need to even ask me again between now and then.
I love it. Great stuff. Tony Finau coming back from 5 shots down to win the 3M Open for his 3rd career PGA Tour victory. Rick Gehman breaking down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Rick, thank you. And for more awesome golf content, join Rick Gehman and his crew on the First Cut podcast. You'll get tournament previews, including DFS picks and analysis. You'll also get round-by-round reaction to each PGA Tour event. The First Cut podcast, download and subscribe today.